students, welcome to All Things Pharmacy. Today we're going to be talking about pharmacognosy. Pharmacognosy is the systematic study of crude drugs obtained from natural origin like plants, animals, even minerals. Crude drugs are actually drugs that are also obtained from natural sources. However, they are not processed. They are just used as drugs the way they are found in nature. There's no extraction, there's no drying or any other process to modify the natural source so that it becomes an actual drug. It's taken as it is. So now in pharmacognosy is basically about studying drugs from plants, which is what I'm going to be mostly talking about. My focus is going to be on plant-based drugs. As you know, plants produce organic substances, and an example of an organic substance that is produced by a plant are called plant metabolites. There are two kinds of plant metabolites, and there is primary plant metabolites and secondary plant metabolites. Primary plant metabolites are metabolites that are always being produced. They are necessary for the growth of the plant, and secondary plant metabolites are not always produced. They are not in continuous production, and they are only produced when the plant needs it, especially when the plant needs to survive. And also, a secondary metabolite that you may find in a certain species of plant may not be there in another species. So they can be different, they can differ. The secondary plant metabolites that may be found in a certain species of plants will not be found in another, so they differ. Unlike primary plant metabolites, which are found, they're all found generally in plants. It doesn't matter which plant or which species the plant is. Secondary metabolites are necessary for a plant's survival because, actually, funny enough, just like humans, plants can get attacked by pathogens or any competitors or against predators, or the secondary metabolites can even act as detoxifying agents. So for plants, secondary metabolites are basically, it's like their immune system, and they use the secondary metabolites to defend themselves. So by studying these metabolites, we realize that they have bioactivity or pharmacological activity, which may be good to use as a medicine or to be used in medicine. And so the study of pharmacognosy involves the study of crude drugs, and these drugs are from the plants, and from these plants specifically the secondary plant metabolites are taken. So basically what we're doing is, it's like we're borrowing their defense system to use it for our benefit, because we're going to use it as medicine, and human beings are also going to use it as medicine to also defend themselves against pathogens that are attacking us human beings. So we're basically just borrowing a plant's defense mechanism, if you think about it. The secondary metabolites can even protect plants from microbes and herbivores. They have a role in seed dispersal, aiding, and also pollinator attractants. So they add color and they attract the pollinators. These secondary plant metabolites have been studied, and they have been classified into three main groups, namely alkaloids, terpenoids, and phenolic compounds. Each group has a characteristic which stands out about it, and we're going to discuss alkaloids first. Alkaloids, they mainly have CNS stimulant, and I'm going to give an example of caffeine, which originates from tea or coffee. Other compounds that are classified as alkaloids can be used as painkillers or bronchodilators. Next group of secondary metabolites is terpenoids, and the hormones fall under this group, like estrogen and phytoestrogen and progesterone. These are female sex hormones, and they can have a slight side effect of causing breast cancer. The estrogen is the one that has side effect of causing breast cancer. Third group is terpenoids, and they are known to improve fertility problems, and they have wound healing properties. They also improve the immune system and have anti-cancer activity, but their main property is wound healing and fertility problems. That's what they are mainly used for in medication. Lastly, the last group is phenolic compounds, and these play important roles in preventing cancer, preventing diabetes, and also preventing the anti-inflammatory. And the main ones out of what I've just said, the main important roles they play is preventing cancer and also anti-inflammatory drugs. These drugs can also have high blood pressure control. These phenolic compounds can also have blood pressure control. An example of a phenolic compound is epigallocatechin gallate, which is anti-cancer, anti-diabetic, and also improves the immune system, and it is usually found in green tea. The discovery and the use of secondary metabolites has helped scientists and discover that these metabolites can be used and can be processed into drugs, into actual medicine. And so secondary metabolites play a major role in the study of pharmacognosy, as this aspect of a plant derived medicine is really studied. Another aspect of pharmacology is indigenous knowledge, which is knowledge that is known by indigenous people or people in rural places or people from an older generation. They have knowledge and understanding and skill through their interaction with their natural surroundings, and this happens over a long period of time. So through experience, through trial and error, people in the olden days, they used to heal diseases or heal anything like a cut or a wound. They used to heal a wound with things around them. So they would try a leaf or maybe a plant. They would use different parts of a plant to try and heal, and through the process of trial and error, they did eventually find a part that worked or a plant that worked. Through the process of trial and error and also intelligence, this indigenous knowledge is usually passed down from generations to generations, from one generation to the next, and is usually passed down through oral communication, like orally. They hardly ever wrote the information down. Only some of it was written down, but most of it is passed down orally from one generation to the next. And also back in the day, in the olden days, they used to test some of the medicine on themselves. Before there were clinical trials. This indigenous knowledge that is developed by a society is unique to a given culture or to the environment that they're in, because obviously they're going to use the trees around them or the fruit or the leaf or anything as trial and error to try and heal someone. So by using the things around them, it means that the knowledge that they're gonna have the indigenous knowledge is going to be specific to the things that are around them. So for example, there could be a tree in Botswana, in a country like Botswana, and this tree may not be found in a country like, let's say, South Africa, only because of maybe there's a difference in climate. The tree doesn't grow in South Africa because the climate there is not, or the weather is not suited for the tree, and so it will grow in Botswana, and so only the people that are in Botswana will have knowledge of that tree. So these knowledge systems are unique to a given culture or a given environment. Even cultures are also different, especially African cultures, because there are certain things that they use due to certain beliefs that they may have, and this will differ from one culture to another. As time goes on and as the indigenous knowledge is passed on from one generation to another, there are also changes with the knowledge that is passed on, and this could be due to the response to various stressors that a community faces. For example, maybe there is a change in climate, maybe there are more rains, and maybe there are new diseases, and so because of this, the indigenous knowledge will not always remain the same. Some things may be changed, either subtracted or added, but definitely the indigenous knowledge that was there a few years ago is not the same as the one that is there in the modern days. Indigenous knowledge does not only focus on plants, but there's also indigenous knowledge on animals and on minerals, and it's just for the purpose of this lesson that I will be focusing on specifically plants. Thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe, to like, and to share. Until next time.